Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over how to add and subtract fractions with different denominators. And let's jump right in. First, we will establish how to add or subtract fractions when you have a like denominator. And that pretty much works like regular addition or subtraction. You add the numerators and you just put them over the common denominator. Now, when you have two fractions that do not have the same denominator, you want to get them both in terms of the same denominator. I'm going to show you how to use manipulative mathematics to find the least common denominator. To find the least common denominator between two fractions, first you take the denominator of the first fraction and you list out the prime factors, which give you the result of the denominator. So for 15, we get 3 times 5. And for 24, 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. To get the least common denominator, you're going to take each number that isn't stacked and multiply them by each other. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5, which gives us a least common denominator of 120. To figure out what number we have to multiply each fraction by, we look at the missing numbers in each row. And so we're going to multiply our first fraction by 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8. And we'll just multiply our second fraction by 5. Once we evaluate that, we get 56 over 120 minus 95 over 120. Using the relationship from earlier, we can combine the two fractions. And by evaluating, we get negative 39 over 120, which can be reduced further by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 3, which will give us negative 13 over 40. When the denominator of both fractions are prime numbers, you simply multiply each fraction by the opposite denominator. Through evaluation, we get 7 over 35 plus 10 over 35. And then we can use the relationship from earlier to combine them, which gives us a final answer of 17 over 35. So again, we'll start by taking the denominator of our first fraction and listing out the prime factors. And so 2 times 2 times 3 equals 12. And then for our second fraction, we have 18. 2 times 3 times 3. And so for our least common denominator, we have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, which gives us a result of 36. And if we make a note of both of our missing numbers, we see that we have to multiply the first fraction by 3 and the second fraction by 2. After evaluating, we see that the first fraction comes to 21 over 36, and the second fraction comes to 10 over 36. Using our trick from earlier, we can combine both of these fractions, and through evaluation, we see that our final answer is 31 over 36.